So, hi, it's Paul Green with another one of our Spotlight on interviews. And today I'm joined by Andy Sarson. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Paul.
So, we're going to delve a little bit into Andy's business journey and how he got to come where he is today. And then he's going to share some insights from his experience later on in the session. So that is the cunning plan. So Andy, do you want to introduce yourself first of all and just let people know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Andy Sarson from APS Marketing Consulting. I suppose simply put, I help business owners raise their profiles, attract new customers and increase sales. That could be a number of ways, but that's a conversation for another day.
Okay, fair enough. So how did you get to where you are today then? What's your business journey? What's your background? And how long have you been running APS?
God blimey, I mean, how long have you got, Paul? It goes back a long way. I mean, going right back, and I'll just briefly go over this. After being actually not good enough to go to college, because I was always had this thing about I want to be a graphic artist. I really wasn't enough for that sort of. Ventured into reading for a few years. Then I was in sales for a local Kent newspaper group, and that's where I really got the marketing bug, I guess. And was told by a Kent marketing agency owner that I should follow the marketing career path. So I took him at his word, him being a nice guy and experienced, and I actually did. Funnily enough, a few weeks later, something came up, and my first agent's role was with the mighty McCann Erickson. I think he got much bigger than that at the time, but my role was quite humble in a way that I worked on the car dealer marketing business for Persia. I mean, this goes back so far before mobile phones and before people had websites. So that really goes back to the dark ages, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Another agent followed doing something similar with Toyota. And I sort of slipped out of the motoring world for a little while and dealt with a couple of accounts with Cineworld, JD Wetherspoon, and then back to motoring with another agency with the ill-fated brand. I don't know whether anybody actually remembers that, but they were around for a few years, around about mid-late 90s, early 2000s, and eventually became part of General Motors after my time. It was sort of then I decided to jump the fence to client side, and I joined major US brand Chrysler and Jeep in the UK as a marketing comms manager. I had 14 amazing years there through various different partners of the brands, that being Daimler and Mercedes-Benz, and latterly Fiat, which was interesting approaches, different approach Germans and the Italians. But again, that's another story for another day. But I worked on national marketing and sponsorship campaigns, devised and delivered dealer marketing programs and special projects, and thoroughly enjoyed my time there. But all good things come to an end. A brief contract role after Chrysler and Jeep, working with SEAT down in Milton Keynes. It sort of led me to consider what next, and I suppose due to my early years, next took some little bit of things. So really, that what next was going to be putting my 30 years knowledge and experience in the marketing industry to good use, to help smaller businesses have some structure and process to the marketing, so they are actually reaching their target market. What I found in conversation with many are sort of doing half or reactive basis rather than planning in advance. So that's really what got me here. I've been doing the consultancy role now for well, it'll be 4 years on January the 1st. So as I say, approaching my fourth year now, or fifth year, should I say. Now, fingers crossed, I'm still here as well.
Excellent. Yes, not a bad achievement. Perfect. So, when you're dealing with small businesses, is there anything specifically that you see as missing in their marketing? I mean, what would be your sense of how well small businesses do marketing?
Well, I think with the best will in the world, you know, whatever the business is at the end of the day, they are excellent and brilliant at what they do. These days, and I know from my own experience, marketing a difficult and complex subject. I know some people call it the dark art, but it's not that. But it's just a case of not having the knowledge and experience to know what are the best options to choose. And if you choose wrong as a small business owner, it can be a very expensive mistake.
Mm, mm. Absolutely, absolutely. So, do you find that, as you said, you know, some people do see it as a dark art? Do you do a lot of small business in your experience? Do they just stab it in the dark at various marketing channels without really knowing what they're doing and without measuring the effect of the marketing they are doing?
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly getting them used to measuring things and looking at feedback they get from different campaigns they do is a difficult thing to get them doing. However, what I've found, as I said before, they are more reactive. They're looking at what competitors do, looking what's out in the marketplace and being reactive to something rather than planning and being proactive and making sure they're hitting the right target market. If someone offers them a cheap deal for something, they're more likely to take that as a cheap deal and just try and get to numbers rather than the people they need to.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So, what's your approach then? How do you work with small business owners that might need some help with their marketing?
Well, basically, I mean, I start with a blank sheet of paper. To me, every business is different. There's no one size fits all. There's nothing you can get off the shelf that's going to do the job for you. So start with a blank sheet of paper, understand the business, understand their goals and objectives, and then from understanding those is build a strategy, marketing strategy that will help them reach their target audience. From there, once you've got the strategy, you can then build the plan, and that's the nuts and bolts of it, if you like, the when and how much and what you use. But the strategy is really the foundation, I guess, of everything you're going to do going forward.
But before that, though, Andy, do you do like a free marketing review, or how do you get your clients in the first place?
Well, basically, what I say to anybody is interested in having a conversation about how I can help them. I will offer a free marketing discovery meeting. It's quite informal, just have a chat about what they want to do, what as I say, what their goals and objectives are, just a quick overview of that. And really some idea of how I can then put striking process into what they do to help them succeed and benefit from better response to what they do.
Okay, perfect. So I ask people on these sessions, you know, what's your why? What's the sort of like driving force for you as a business owner? What's your emotional connection with your business, I guess? So what is it that gets you out of bed in the morning and gets you to fight the good fight over the last 4 years or so?
Well, apart from the other half, who always wants a cup of tea first thing in the morning, what gets me out of bed, I suppose, is having the firm belief that through experience, that smaller businesses will succeed with marketing if they follow the structure of an effective strategy and sound plan. And I have the confidence in being able to deliver for them. So it's having that belief just through experience I've gained over the 30 odd years of being in the marketing industry in various and working with in a lot of cases smaller independent businesses, whether it was part of a national brand and it was their dealer or retailer network. They are independent smaller businesses, so that's where I have my grounding, if you like, into what smaller businesses need to do on a local basis.
Thank you very much. So there's other marketers, marketing consultants out there, I guess, in the world. So what would you say makes you different from anybody offering a similar service?
Well, apart from me being a lovely bloke, of course. I mean,
yeah, there is that. Of
course, to say that, Paul. But,
goes without saying.
Of course. I suppose. I mean, for me, as I said, there's no one size fits all. There's nothing off the shelf, and understanding that every client is different. As I said, the blank sheet. It's incorporating their goals and objectives. Not everyone that I come across does that sort of thing, and it's incorporated into the marketing strategy and plan. So it's all aimed at the target market where they need to be. It sort of really sits alongside my white stone unturned, if you like, to ensure that the marketing mix chosen is the right one. And it's what it is. I've got no particular specialisms, whether it's the good old traditional marketing options, a lot of which still work very well, whether it's digital, whether it's social media, whether it's events or anything else. Now, in some areas, I'll confess now, I'm not an expert, but there's plenty of people around me who are expert, who, if needed, I would call in and get them to work alongside me with my clients.
No, good strategy. Good strategy. So, is there sort of like an ideal client for you? Is this a particular sector you like working with, or particular size of business? Who would you say would be perfect for you as a potential client?
Well, it's as I always say, it's smaller businesses. It's smaller businesses. So that can be anything from some trader up to, I suppose, a business that employs up to about 50 people. I mean, SMEs is too broad a scope for me. I like dealing with smaller business, so I'm dealing directly with usually the business owner. And I'm not sort of getting information third or second hand. It's a direct one-on-one situation. So yeah, that's really the way I look at it.
I guess with smaller businesses, you potentially can sort of like see results more quickly, particularly if you're dealing with the owner themselves. So I guess that is better in some ways than working with a bigger business that might take longer to implement certain strategies. So is that what you've sort of experienced?
Yeah, but as I said, right through my career, I've dealt with sort of local retailers and local car dealers and things like that. So I've always been, and before that, even in the newspaper days, selling advertising, I was working with smaller local businesses, and you can see straight make a difference straight away sometimes. where they might have that light bulb moment when you're in conversation with them about something. So to me, yeah, working with him, you can see the interaction. I mean, what I heard about this morning, a particular project I did with one of my clients, who equally is a BuzzCon member as well, which is great. That we a sort of, I suppose you'd say it was more of a PR campaign with a local business magazine. And as a result from those activities over the last few months, they potentially gained 2 quite large new clients, which is great for their business because they came to me in the first place because a sort of impasse, if you like. They got to a certain size, they needed to expand, move to new offices, were expanding the team. Then they knew they needed to market themselves. So I went through the process and structure of them, and we put things in place and activities in place, but not ultra quickly or trying to deliver them all at once. We are doing it slowly so we can measure the responses and the results of each individual activity and decide whether we want to do a little bit more of that, or whether it hasn't quite done what we wanted to do, and try to tweak it and maybe change it in some way.
Okay.
But really, what I like. Go on, Paul.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah. All I was going to say is the way I like to work with people is really like to be an extension of their own business. And if you like, I'm their virtual marketing department. And I'm always on hand, say, to pick up the phone at any time.
Yeah, no, makes sense, Andy, makes sense. So the next question I was going to ask you is, since you started, outside of the pandemic, which has been problematic for a lot of businesses, obviously, what would you say is your biggest challenge outside of that?
Do you know what? I think apart from bringing my son up, because obviously, the 2 of us at home, there's no manual with kids, is there? It's everything's an individual, but it's making sure he has the best opportunities available to him to succeed. And indeed, he's gone on to do that, and he's doing very well for himself now, which we're pleased with. So that was one of the biggest challenges. But I suppose from a work point of view, it's really getting this business up and running. Obviously, I knew, having been for 30 odd years, but did I know anything about running a business? No, not at all. So, I'm grateful for the people I've sort of worked around and met, people like Paul Smith unit at Northants Uni, which I think was formerly the Ready to Grow with the ill-fated Northamptonshire County Council. And without doubt, yourself and the members of the business community, I found everyone has always been ready to help with advice, which to me in the early days was absolutely invaluable. And I can't stress that more strongly. So I found with obviously the different networking events, we all do, that I think, and I'm not saying this because you're on the other end of the camera, but yours is one of the strongest, and community is an excellent word for it. Community fits it absolutely spot on.
Checks in the post, Andy. Thank you very much. So you've kindly agreed to sort of share some of your part of your 30 years experience with us. So I'm going to sort of hand over the floor to you. I'll just put you in solo mode for a second, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Paul. Right, okay. Today, I'm just going to take a few minutes to give you a few simple facts, hints, and tips about marketing to your most valuable asset, your existing customers. It's not unusual to find marketing resources and budgets firmly focused on new business and new customers. But this is at a cost of building is this a cost of building relationship with those all important existing customers? I mean, I always refer to them as the low hanging fruit who have spent money with you already after all. But if you're anything like me, that can be very annoying to a customer when new customers are always given outstanding offers, amazing offers to join up. But if you've had 10 years loyalty with this company and you get nothing, I mean, I find that really annoying. So the customer reaction can then be to look elsewhere, and the likelihood is that you might lose a customer. I think you'd be happy with that. So that's why you must invest in your existing customers. It is a fact, and this has been proven with some research, that it's 5 times more to get a new customer, more costly to get a new customer, and existing customers are 60 to 70% more likely to buy from you again. So to me, that's a sort of no-brainer that you build a relationship with these people and communicate with them on a regular basis. So, look after that low-hanging fruit, those existing customers. It's not only a sensible thing to do, but it can be very profitable. So let's look at it. Let's look at some good reasons why, I guess. Existing customers are certainly your best source of increased business and profit. You've already invested time, money, and energy to start the relationship, so don't let that fall down at one of the first hurdles. They've bought from you, and as long as the experience is good, they will buy again, build a trusting relationship with you. And guess what? They tell all their friends and family. And that's free marketing and means more business for you. So here's a few tips to go through, 2 things to think about. First and most obvious, well, talk to your existing customers, communicate with them. There are so many options these days. You've got blogs, you've got social media, even the good old-fashioned telephone. Pick it up and speak to them. Let them know about any special events you have happening. Any new deals that are relevant, just keep in touch, really. Another one, this can sound a bit twee, I suppose, but be personal with them. Remember, and these sound like silly things, but remember birthdays and anniversaries. They might sound a bit cheesy, but customers like it, makes them feel wanted. And with that, I mean, build the relationship and talk to them about things they are interested in and how you can improve their lives with your products and services. Next option, let's have a look. Show your appreciation. That helps build loyalty. Something as simple as a free coffee voucher or something as simple as a little note to say thank you can mean an awful lot. Tell customers about good news for you. Use email or blogs. If you've had a great review, then let all your customers know what other people think about you. It all adds to that experience and trusting relationship. Here's sometimes a bit of a thorny one, is perhaps managing your own reputation in a way. So if you do get a complaint or issue, deal with it quickly, deal with it offline. Don't get involved online with social media, where these days you see so many people complaining about things. Just get in touch with them offline and privately and deal with it. So they then go away happy. Another thing, and we're all guilty with this, and I constantly tell my clients about it, but I'm equally as guilty myself. Ask for feedback and reviews. Don't be shy about it. If customers are happy with the product and service and experience they get from you, they're usually happy to say so. Not everyone will do them, but there's a good chance that you'll get a good number of extra reviews. And let's face it, we all know how good that is for our Google rankings. Finally, this is the crucial one. Every contact you have with them, just follow up afterwards is so crucial to continue that regular contact that builds that relationship and trust you have. Then you'll reap the benefits of referrals that your customers will give you following on from this. But I suppose really what you need to do now is perhaps ask yourself a few questions. So how often do you communicate with your existing customers? How about frequency, the content, tone, method? Think about all those sorts of things. What do I have to offer my existing customers that would tempt them back? Loyalty rewards, exclusive offers. As I say, just chatting to them, really, just being in touch. What would happen if I increased my contact with them over the coming months? Well, if you increase your contact, I'm sure it will lead to more business. And can you clearly explain the specific benefits and increase value for money they will receive from you? Yeah, well, I'm sure you can. You know your products, you know your services. So they're a sort of no-brainer, really, aren't they? A good way of doing things as well, just to double check, is having a little checklist to one side. Make sure your database is up to date when you're speaking to people. Have a good CRM system to save time. There are many free and paid for options. Do your research to find one that's your business. And certainly there's a couple of local companies, Web Alliance for one, who do outstanding systems, specially bespoke to individual businesses. You have to have customer contact strategies. How many times do you speak to somebody during a calendar year? Just work out what's the best option for you. Devote time. That's a crucial part of the equation. Devote time to your existing customers. Finally, have a sensible budget to maintain this important cog in your business. I can't say more than that. If it's affordable to your business, it's sensible, but there's no point having grand plans after all that you can't. And that's really it.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Some great advice there. I think my experience with small businesses are they're underutilizing their existing customers. They're interested in getting more sales, but they're just missing that as you said, the low hanging fruit that's probably right in front of them that they're not engaging with, that have already bought from them. So absolutely. Absolutely. So one final thing then, Andy, if you were to just give one top tip for any business owner out there, from one business owner to another, what will that top tip be?
Have confidence in yourself and what you do. That goes without saying. And just belief that you will succeed. I expect everybody in business has had the odd moment where they thought, where things, and I suppose when the pandemic came in, everybody had a mild panic for a few moments. But as I say, I think it's having confidence in what you do. As I say, believe that you'll succeed. It's always worked well for me.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Andy. I think we'll end the broadcast there. So thanks for your time today. You can crack on with the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much, Paul, for the opportunity.